to this point. Again, identifying my f prime, g, and g prime. And then again, I plugged everything into my quotient rule. Any questions on what I've done so far? So remember, what I ultimately am going to have to do is I'm going to have to ultimately set all this equal to 1, because I want to know at what particular x values do I have tangent lines that have a slope of 1. So I am going to have to simplify this numerator as much as I can. So I'm going to take my 2x and distribute, so that's going to give me 2x squared minus 2x minus x squared in the numerator, all over my x minus 1 to the second. Combine my like terms in the numerator, that gives me an x squared minus 2x over x minus 1 to the second. There's my derivative. I know because some of you do not like to write things down as much. You're saying, oh my gosh, I'm getting so tired of writing this denominator to the second power, I'm going to leave it off. One of the most common errors that I have no mercy upon is because you don't feel like writing that denominator, you're going to be doing a lot of work. A lot of times, if you fall into that trap, you do not want to write this denominator squared while you're simplifying the numerator, 99.9% of the time you're going to forget to divide it by that denominator squared, and I don't have a lot of mercy on that. Keep writing that denominator over and over again so you don't forget about it. So any questions where I found my f prime of x? Now what am I going to set this equal to? I'm going to set this equal to 1. Not doing any calculus part's over. Now I'm back in algebra land. How am I going to solve that? Any thoughts? How am I going to solve this rational equation? What am I going to do to solve this? Well, this is actually 1 over 1, so can you cross multiply? Sure. Or multiply both sides by the LCD of x minus 1 to the second power. So x minus 1 squared is equal to x squared minus 2x. You are going to have to multiply out the left-hand side, the x minus 1 to the second power. So that gives me x squared minus 2x plus 1 is equal to x squared minus 2x. What do you notice? What happens? What happens with your x squares? They cancel. What happens with your negative 2x's? Cancel. So you're left with 1 on the left-hand side, and what's left on the right? 0. Does that make any sense? No. 1 is not equal to 0. So what do you think? Are there any places? No. So we have no tangent lines perpendicular to y equals negative x. And that'll sometimes happen. That's a case where you don't. Okay? Yeah?
So if it was 1 equals 1, that means all values are equal?
That very rarely would happen. It's usually a none, or you actually be able to solve for x. But yeah, if it was like a 1 equal 1, you're right, it'll be all real numbers. Okay? So any questions on that? All right. So, what's AP?